Hey guys, it's Morgan coming back to you with another weekly Shlog here at Highland Cycles in Montrose, Colorado. If you guys are new here, consider sticking with us. If you found us through Baja or one of the many other videos and you haven't yet subscribed, consider sticking with us. This is one we do every week. These videos come out on Mondays, and it's just my little shop vlog where I show you all the cool things that happen at a small dirt bike shop in Western Colorado. I think it's a lot of fun. So do a lot of other people. Yeah, comment below if you're one of those folks that thinks this is cool and you like our Shlogs. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Yeah, that sounds fun. Here we go. All right, guys, first up on my lift is actually a whole bunch of stuff because it's Christmas. You guys are watching this on Christmas. First of all, Merry Christmas to everybody. Also, it's like a little Christmas to me because I got a whole bunch of parts here coming for my beta. I got a new beta, 300RR Race Edition coming in 2024. Very excited about that. It is, yeah, I'm super excited to try a new brand of bike. I've been riding KTMs now for a very long time. Before that was Yamaha's. I own an XR650R. I own a KDX 200. So I like all bikes, but I have been in love with this new KTM. So I'm excited about the beta. I think it's going to be really, really cool. But I need some stuff for it. If you guys haven't yet watched, I've made a video about the Mako 360 I got for it from Lance at XC Gear. And now we have a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Let me show you. First up, bulletproof designs came through. Disc guard, swing arm guard, caliper guard, also radiator guards. Now, guys, the new 24 300RR has new radiators. So the old radiator guards won't work. You have to get the new ones. They're not a huge difference, but they are different. It's good because it's allowing the bike to go full lock in the steering, the way they changed the radiator. So I'm really excited about that. So huge thank you to Bud at Bulletproof Designs. Can't wait to get that on there and protect this bike. Also coming in for the first time on the channel is Molecule Motorsports out of Idaho. They have come through with a skid plate and handguards. Those are just stickers for the handguards. The handguards are at my house. I was gonna actually try them out on the KTM, but I decided I really wanted to put them on the beta since the KTM already has handguards and they're fine. I want to try them out on the beta, so I asked them, and they said, yeah, but we'll send you some cooler stickers that are right colors. So they sent me some red and black stickers. So yeah, don't worry. There will be a full video on all the install and all this stuff. This is just showing you guys what's coming, a little bit of a teaser to get you guys to subscribe for all the beta content that's coming. Also, Carapax foot pegs from my buddy Ben Nicholson. If you want to buy a set of these, check out firsttrackmoto.com/Highlands Cycles. There's a link in the description. You can buy these from Ben. These are awesome. They're stainless. They're crazy strong. I've been running them on Loretta, the Game Changer, now for a very long time, and they are perfect. They're bulletproof. They're sticky. They don't actually tear my boots up nearly what you'd think they would with all these spikies. So, yeah, big fan of those. So, that's my Christmas time. I'm excited. Lots of new parts. Oh, also, if you haven't checked it out, look at my video on greasing linkage and stuff like that, winter maintenance stuff on the 300. Also, rebuilding the shock. We got that all done. Waiting on a couple things. We're going to start putting that back together here real soon. But today, now, starting actual real Shlog stuff, we're going to be doing suspension on a 22 or 21 KTM air forks and shock. We're going to be revalving, doing TBT love. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, we got the shock up here first. It is a 22 250XC, and this gentleman is lucky enough to need the stock spring. They're air forks, so obviously we'll set that you know, to whatever he needs. But the stock spring's going to work on this, which is actually a 4.2, I believe. Let's see. Yep, 4.2. Which is what these bikes all came with. It's funny, KTM, I've had a lot of people call me and ask me about different shock springs and fork springs and all that. And by the way, feel free to email me, call me, whatever. Be happy to get you on the right track. But it's funny, KTM will, every year it seems like they get some smoking deal on some spring rate and they put it on every bike. So this 250XC would have a 4.2, the 500 EXC would have the same spring of this year, which is ridiculous because the bike itself is quite a bit heavier. Yeah, anyway, it's a thing. I think it's just cost savings. They get, they broker a deal for a bunch of springs, and anyway, that's how it works. So let's peel this thing apart and take a look at what we're doing. All right, guys, first things first, we were putting a bladder kit on it here from CSR. I did actually have to heat this up so much that I ruined the O-ring. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but I did. So that's a brand new one. Excited about that. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this, a little bit of red thread locker on there, run that on there, and we'll put show you guys real fast. This is the bladder kit. We can make sure you grease the inside of that, put that on there. That helps it seal. That's that one, I think last week's Shlog, I had that one leak, so we'll just make sure we put lots of grease on the inside of that. Yeah, you guys have seen all this before. I'm not going to show you the in-depth, but we'll get this on there. All right, guys, so I'm super sorry. I did not, I did the whole shock and got it done without filming. I had a friend of mine standing here talking to me, and we were just chit-chatting away, and I completely spaced filming. So that's all right. You can reference my other video that just came out of me rebuilding my shock. It's about what it looked like, but just with changing some shims around. But basically, I'll give you a kind of a quick and dirty version of, this is our build sheet up here, but quick and dirty version of what we did is we actually, on the high-speed side, we actually stiffened that up quite a bit to help hold the bike up in the stroke, and then on the compression, we actually soften that, or make it a little bit quicker moving, so that like I said, the high speed is holding the bike up, keeping the piston down, and then the low speed compression, it's letting it move nice and easy and like through the choppy stuff, and get lots of traction and not beat the crap out of you. But then when you hit something, it stiffens up and it does really good and keeps you from bottoming out. So anyway, that's basically what we did to the shock. Now we're doing the fork. These are AERs. So I'll show you what we do to this time. I promise I will bring you guys in, show you the shim stacks, and then I'll show you the other kind of quick and dirty trick that we do to help the air side work a little bit better tid. So here we go. All right, guys, we got the mid valve all apart here. This side is the rebound. That is the compression side of the mid-speed valve. And then our main compression stack is over here. We're just changing a whole bunch of this. I'm not going to go deep into it. It's too much to go over for this. I might make some more in-depth suspension videos describing a little bit more about how these things go and what they actually do. Comment below if you want that. I can actually go a little bit deeper into like the theory behind moving things around, what they do. It's a little too much for a Shlog. So yeah, I'm going to start stacking this all back together, change it up, then we'll take the compression apart. I'll show you what that looks like real fast on the compression, and then we'll get this thing done for this guy. Oh, and like I said, I will show you the quick and dirty cheater way of making the air spring work a little bit better. All right, guys, there is the compression stack on the base valve there, which in the twin chambered forks is on top. It's not like on the old forks where it was actually at the base. Yeah, so there's that stack, and we are changing a bunch of stuff. So making some of them thicker, the smaller ones thicker to kind of hold it up, but then the rest of them create a little more crossover. Anyway, we're going to make this thing more plush, but then still be able to ramp up. So again, like I said, if you want more in-depth, let me know. We can talk about that. But yeah, I got to get this thing done so we can get this back to this guy. So yeah, I'll be right back with what we do the air side. All right, guys, we got that fork all done. Now we got the air side fork. Seals are done. This has all been taken apart and cleaned. Now I'm going to show you the trick that we use to keep this moving well. Now you're supposed to grease the seal on the piston that goes up and down, and we do. I grease that. It's all good. But it honestly just does not stay lubed enough. So what I do is I take a little bit of 1040 motor oil and I'm pouring it into the Schrader valve. I got the valve core out. I'm gonna push up on the rod and we're gonna just dribble, maybe. There we go. Just dribble some oil in there. I'm going to move it up and down. And if you guys have ever worked on air forks and done what I'm doing right now, you'll know that if they have any hours on them, actually I've even had brand new ones, they get sticky. Like when you go up and down like this, there's like a stick, and you put a little bit of oil in there, and that stick starts to go away, and the more you move it, the better it feels. And that honestly is a huge, huge benefit to your forks. If you've got an air fork, it's been serviced well, you know everything is actually good in it, it's just not, you know, it just feels harsh, try that. Let me know what you think. Comment below. It will probably change your life. It's not as good as a revalve, but it makes a big difference. Do have to clean it off, obviously. Now we're going to use our clicker koozie. This is the old style. The new one is smaller than that, but this one works to protect the top. Those are available on our website. They've gone up in price because I'm now selling them to other people, and I realized that the price is actually just a little bit low. So they're $15 now instead of $10, but they are really sweet, and we're actually super happy with the way those things are going. I actually sold a bunch to Intech. They're selling them. It's been really good. Just go to my website. I'll put the link in the description below. Now, for the outsides of these, we're putting 235 cc's of 5-weight KYB oil. Now we're going to set pressure. This spec calls for, what does it call for? 130. And this gentleman weighs 155 pounds, so. All right, guys, next on the lift, I always just call it the lift, but next on the bench is actually a set of suspension from a Kawasaki. I don't know if I've ever showed you revalving a Kawasaki, so I'm pretty excited about it. It's not really very different from a Yamaha or anything like that because it's just KYB stuff. They switched over to KYBs a while back, and that was a very, very good decision because it's arguably the best suspension you can buy out of the box. So yeah, we're going to revalve it. It was revalved by another company, Art of War. And the guy's not unhappy with it, but it was done for someone else. It wasn't his, it wasn't set up for him. So he's having us set it up for him. And I think it was more moto, which is cool. So there's no like bad mouthing of Art of War at all. We're just redoing it to set it up specifically for this gentleman. So let's pull the shock up here and take a look. All right. Shocky. This is a normal KYB shock. We're going to spin this off, get this thing apart. With the new style KYB shocks, they're all set up with a bladder or like a needle style bladder. So I'm not going to release that. Sometimes I've actually done that in the past. Like, oh, I'll get ahead, do that while I'm doing something else. The problem is if you release this, sometimes when you release the spring, the shaft wants to go down, making it hard to get this up because there's no pressure pushing it up. So wait for that. All right, guys, I don't know if you saw me just do that. I kind of had to beat this thing off of here. It's because the shock spring was on upside down. It doesn't really matter for performance. It just matters for what a pain in the butt that was to get off. Because I don't know why, but sometimes shock springs have a bigger diameter on one side than the other. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or they just end up like that because of manufacturing. But you can see that goes on and it's tight. Whereas if we flip it over, it just rests down on there nice and easy. Then this goes in there. And yeah, anyway. So pay attention to that while you're working on your stuff. Again, I hope that doesn't come across as something against Art of War. That's not what I'm doing. That's an easy thing to just do. And it doesn't, like I said, affect anything about the way the shock works. It's just kind of a pain to deal with when it's been on there for a while. It wants to stick. So Now I'm gonna let the nitrogens out. I leave this in here so that as I push, it can push oil and squish that bladder. Oh, I hate when these things have been in here for a while. I'm gonna take the plastic into this. We're gonna try to go up. There we go. There we go. Whew, that's disgusting. Wish you guys could smell this. It's not awesome. Definitely been ridden hard since it was done last, which is good. That's what they're for. What we're supposed to be doing with these things. Grab our shock shaft. All right, guys. There is their setup. Looks pretty moto-y to me. I mean, this is the rebound. That's the compression. I don't see any crossover. I'm gonna have to check and make sure. I gotta lift these things up, make sure I'm not missing a shim, because sometimes they'll get stuck when I'm pulling them off like this. They're all oily and they'll get stuck. But I don't see any crossover. Let's see if we have a crossover. I don't really know, actually. Yeah, no, we're not doing a crossover either, so it must not be KX. Yeah, KX, for what this is kind of more of a GP bike, not super hard enduro or anything like that, so must not do a crossover on the compression. So there we go, good to know. We don't always do that. Like hard enduro and enduro, like rocky stuff, we pretty much always have a crossover, and there is a crossover on the rebound here. Let's see if we run one. We do run one over there, but pretty different stack on the rebound. 44, 42, 40. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, anyway, it's actually not a huge difference. A little bit of difference. Yeah, definitely a little difference on our setup. Theirs seems a little more moto-y, and again, we're doing a GP setup, so Grand Prix, so it's kind of like moto with a little bit more plushness is kind of what I look at it like, because there's more rocks and hard edges in a GP race than there is in a motocross track. But yeah, so anyway, let's do this thing, build this thing back up, and we'll get the forks open. All right, guys, got the forks part. I already did one, but quick little deal here. We got our mid-speed valve apart. Make some pretty big changes here to add some plushness to these forks. These are actually not a bad valve setup, but I like ours better, obviously. I'm going to say that, but not a terrible setup here. And then we got the compression base valve that we're going to set up there. Again, probably a little more plush with a little more progression, stiffening up as it gets as you get deeper into the stroke. So super stoked about this. This is going to make this bike work really, really good in that kind of Grand Prix style. And we even offer up on these different clicker settings. In the Grand Prix setups, we give people 3 kind of clicker settings so they can have like an MX setting, a Grand Prix setting, and then a more of an enduro setting. So anyway, let's get this all built back up, and we'll move on to the next job. All right, guys, so the next job for me is actually my live show. If you guys haven't ever joined us on Thursday mornings, definitely consider it. It's 7:30 Mountain Standard Time, and we call it the Gospel of Two Wheels. We talk about dirt bikes, all kinds of fun things. But yeah, here's how I do it. Let's, if you guys are interested. So I use Ecamm Live. This is what it looks like on the thing. We'll get this. There we go. I got to go live. I got, if you look in tight, it shows you 3 minutes, whatever. That's how I do it. I can broadcast to Facebook, and YouTube, and it's really sweet. I gotta get our buddy Woody in, copy the link. We're gonna send him the link via Messenger, and then he is going to join in, and we will be ready to rock. And now I use this awesome mic that I got from Rich Pierce. Thank you, Rich Pierce. That Yeti mic is actually really, really nice. Thank you very much, Rich. I need to thank you more for that. That thing's awesome. Oh, one of the things I do is I turn the heat down or off so that that thing doesn't come on because it's right there. This is my studio here, guys. We are not the high-tech setup like a lot of other channels. But yeah, and then we go live and we can bring people in, and this Ecamm Live is really slick. I really like it. You can also just record yourself and then publish it too. So yeah, it works great for me. So anyway, I'm gonna get on to it. Make sure you guys check out the live show. Either join us live and you can ask questions, or check it out later and you know, you can comment and I'll answer your questions there. So anyway, here we go. All right, guys, got done with the live show. We had a lot of fun. I hope you guys check that out if you have not yet. Next on the list for me today is actually going to be my bike. So I'm going to be filming some in-depth videos on the winter maintenance series here, putting the whole back end back together, got all the bearings done and all that stuff. But guys, I have a super duper awesome surprise for you. We have been missing this gentleman for quite a while now. Well, someone would say missing. Most of us are just happy he's gone. But Angry Zach is back in the house, at least for a little bit. Very exciting. He's not actually doing work, so don't think that he's coming on vacation from the National Guard and like, oh, look at him working so hard. No, he's not. He's actually just working on his bike, but he is valving the suspension, which is going to be cool because I'm going to get to ride it, and he's going to ride it, and then we actually have some cool Del Saggio, the new XR kit coming to do tests back and forth. But Zach, I'm going to make you talk a little bit here. How are you doing? How is it to be back in Colorado, and how has your military experience been?
It's been good. Happy to be back. Get a little bit of break from the nonsense there and the people there, but yeah.
You're done with basic, and now you are starting
Advanced training now
for
wheeled vehicle mechanic.
Wheeled vehicle. So hopefully he does okay because he works on wheeled vehicles here. But I'm sure we're talking about different vehicles. Are there like specifics that you're going to be working on? Anything super cool that they've mentioned?
Yeah, those JLTVs are pretty cool looking.
So is that huge thing with the big nose that sticks out front? Which is the JLTV?
It's the replacement for the Humvee.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's got some cool stuff going on.
Nice. Do you get to have one? And do we?
Everybody gets one. Yeah.
And do we get to drive it around?
I'll be bringing one home.
Okay, sweet. Sure. Really excited about that. Zach is going to let us play with military equipment. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so he's valving the suspension finally on his W. But like I said, stay tuned because I just got off the phone with Del Saggio, and they're going to send us their XR kit to do some cool stuff with. So that's really, really awesome. But now I'm going to get to this. So I'm going to start filming the in-depth video on rebuilding this thing and putting all the shiny linkage bearings back onto it. And I think I got my new throttle cables to do. Anyway, it's going to be cool. So subscribe, blah, 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 all the YouTube things, and we'll get on to the next real job here in the shop. All right, guys, that's actually going to be it. The end of the week, end of the Shlog. Merry, Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Christmas. I know we are as a family. We are taking some time off. We are relaxing, spending time with family, and celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. That is why I celebrate Christmas. I'm not saying you have to, but that's why I celebrate it. It's a very, very important part of my life. So I'm excited. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. I hope you enjoyed this Shlog. If you did, if you stuck around all the way to the end, first of all, you're part of the Punk Rock Club, and I love you more than everyone else. Also, if you have not yet subscribed, consider it, because it's an awesome place to be. This is an awesome channel to hang out on. You learn lots of stuff. You laugh, hopefully some. You see cool stuff, and yeah, it's just rad. So I love you guys. I will talk to you soon, and I hope you get out and ride your dirt bikes!